am standing at an Aldi. This is the 76th Street Aldi in Philly, and we're doing something really weird and kind of dumb today, but you know, that's what we do around here. So as you can see, I'm walking away from it. The reason is today's video is going to be me visiting all 15 Aldi locations in Philly back to back to back on public transportation. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I picked Aldi because I personally get my groceries there, so, and I like it, so we shall see how that goes. I'm walking over to my first bus stop right now. I actually wonder if the bus that's currently sitting there is actually it, and it's just waiting. I'm not sure. I'm taking the 31. I'm not sure where it starts, but well, this is the bus stop for the 31, headed inbound to City Hall. Kind of curious that there's a bus shelter here. I kind of wouldn't have expected that. Well, the bus is about 4 minutes late, but should be okay. I had a 10-minute connection up the next Aldi, so I think it should be okay. But anyways, yeah, so we're on a one-seat ride to the next Aldi, bus 31, which will just take me straight there to 46th and Market. So this is actually the one that I use all the time. So, you know, not to give away too much information about exactly where I live, but yeah, this is my closest one. Well, somewhat disappointingly, the bus was just late enough that I believe the L train kind of just passed me. And since it's a Saturday, it's on 13-minute frequencies right now, I believe. So vaguely unfortunate, but yeah, one just passed. Unfortunately, the next thing I needed to catch was in fact an eastbound L train. So I might be waiting a little bit for that. But anyway, we are at the second Aldi of the day. I would say that this is definitely going to be like tied for the most transit accessible or transit oriented Aldi we're going to see today. This is classic SEPTA, where they have a time listed for the train in the opposite direction from the one you're trying to go in, but no time listed for yours. Well, okay, quick update. The tracker finally turned on here at the station, and looks like it's not going to be here for a little bit. So what I'm going to have to do is sort of change plans a bit. So, nice little elevator here at these above ground stations, which is nice. But yeah, so I'm going to go down and catch bus 64 northbound instead. And then I'm going to catch the G trolley. That should get me there faster than any alternative, just because looks like these L trains just aren't really showing up on time today. Welcome to Route 64. Well, this will get me in, assuming that the G's are running on time. Should be getting in about 5 minutes later than originally anticipated, but that could make the difference. We'll find out, because of course the schedules for the G might be all screwed up too, because that's how SEPTA Metro works. Nothing is ever exactly on time. after like the first hour of operations of the day, so yeah.
48 to 0.
Okay, and now we wait here on this island in the middle of the street. Could certainly stand to be improved in my opinion. Hopefully the trolleys are running decent frequencies and maybe are being tracked and it'll show up. It very well might be a bus, because I know that some of the trips on the G1 are replaced by buses. We'll see though. Not that it really particularly matters for this trip. So I just checked my phone and it looks like there's some good news in the form of, well, it looks like either one of the trips that was supposed to be here before is running really late, or one of the trips is running early. And it looks like this isn't actually, well, I'm not going to say it won't at this point, but I will say that it looks like it might not ruin my schedule for today. I was worried that, I'd have to start shifting things back and stuff, because I was originally planning on getting the L, which was going to hook me up to the 49, but we will see. We will see.
Welcome to...
Yeah, we're on a bus. I figured that would probably be the most likely outcome.
Various permits is required.
Well, we made it to the third Aldi with some time to spare, actually. Now to get the next bus, which is not here, but let's look at where it is. Oh, interesting. It says go in 6 minutes. I have a little bit of time, I guess. I'm going to go to Girard and 29th. It's not originally what I had planned on, where I had planned on going to catch the bus, but it's actually slightly closer. The Aldi is actually much physically closer to Girard than I thought it was, based on how the map looked initially when I was planning this out. So I had initially thought, oh, I'll get the 7 a few stops up from here, because I thought that was closer, but actually this is closer. I'm going to go to Girard and 29th and get the 7 there. Should show up a few minutes after I get there. But it's going to be a pretty comfortable walk. I don't have to rush or anything. Well, it's a surprisingly old bus.
It's the only old bus.
Yeah.
It's literally the only one left. What?
You snuck up on me.
Good.
Okay, I knew we were meeting here. It's just I didn't know it was going to happen like that. In any case, next is going to be Aldi number 4. Welcome to Route 7. Okay, the bus is 4 minutes late, but that's not really a big deal, because it's a one-seat ride again. I love how many of these center city trips between the Aldis are like one-seat rides. That's so good. That's going to stop being the case once I get to Northeast Philly, though. There's going to be a lot of two-seat rides once you start getting up there, so that's going to start to get a little more hairy. But for now, we get some one-seats, so... Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is the newest location in the city. It's not directly on the 7, but but pretty close, within 2 streets. So yeah, we're just gonna head over there and then immediately go back and get the next 7 and then continue south to the next one. Couldn't just drive by it because although maybe it would have counted, we can't see it from the bus stop, so that definitely wouldn't count, no matter whether we strictly enforced you have to actually touch grass outside the Aldi or not. It's funny, you can tell this area is redeveloping pretty quickly. There's a lot of new buildings intermixed with really old buildings. This is definitely a hot spot in the city at the moment. Well, yeah, just heading back to 23rd. We stopped at CVS for sodas because we're like that. And we had time. The bus is in 10 minutes, so we had a little bit of time to waste. So there's no sign here at this bus stop, but it obviously stops here because we got off here. So anyway, I love when bus stops aren't marked. It makes me feel so confident that the bus is actually going to stop here, you know?
Welcome to Route 7.
Okay, bus is a little bit late, but you know.
It feels like 5 minutes later than it should have been.
Well, because that's the whole phenomenon that waiting time feels 3 times as long as actually being in
It
motion,
only
right?
said 6 minutes, and we sent like 3 minutes to CVS.
Well, unfortunately, we were planning on getting a transfer to the 63, which did not happen because it
that
beat
one,
us.
It's 6 minutes early.
It's running early.
It's over there.
Well, it's right in front of us, which is wonderful.
Might be able to
But
make it.
this isn't where the Aldi is, so we can't get off here. So, I mean, maybe if the life cycle is weirdly favorable, we can magically get it. But that's literally the bus we were supposed to get right in front of us. Very disappointing because it's 5 minutes early. That's the Aldi.
There's a stop there, so it doesn't even.
I wonder if I could actually transfer.
You should try doing that.
I'm gonna try to transfer. I know you're gonna stay on this bus, but yeah. No. R.I.P. I tried. No connection. Okay. Well, I'm gonna walk backwards a bit, just to actually claim the credit for having seen this Aldi. And hooray, we are now behind schedule because the bus was early. Very cool. But anyway. This is Aldi number 5 of the day. And I believe we're just going to be getting another eastbound 7 on the trip behind that one. And hopefully we can sort of catch back up to the schedule. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that fully, but yeah. It's funny how often I'm going to be riding the 7 today. A lot. This is Aldi number 6. And now I'm gonna get the 7 again. Going the other way this time. We're headed back to Broad Street, where then I'm gonna take the subway to our next Aldi.
Welcome to Route 7.
unfortunately still slightly behind schedule. So unless well, it's not to say the Broad Street line ever keeps the schedule, but unless the train is slightly late, we may have just missed it, but I'm not sure. I don't even think they have any tracking on the B at all.
A few moments later.
Never mind, that took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to show up. Okay, we are now at Fairmount Station. Let's find the Aldi. Oh, look at that. It is right there. Very cool. Okay, so I need to get to Spring Garden and 12th Street, which, amusingly, is the exact location of the former site of the Broad Street line Spurs Spring Garden Station, now closed, which I explored in a previous video. Well, don't get your hopes up too high. I didn't go inside, because that's illegal. I just walked around the outside. But anyways, that is where we're headed. We're just gonna walk down Ridge Avenue until we hit Spring Garden Street. And then we'll have to wait for probably about 15 minutes. What's unfortunate is that the next bus that I'm getting on is not that frequent, and the previous trip just left from that spot just now, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to wait for the next one. Alright, well, I am going to check to see if there's any other potential options for me to get over there that might get me there a little faster, but I'm not convinced that there are any, so we'll have to see about that. Well, the bus pretty much came on time, which is very fortuitous, because my next connection is rather short. So, definitely hope we make it over there on time. But there's not a lot of people on this bus, and traffic seems quite light. So I'm going to optimistically guess that we will probably be just fine. Well, it's looking like this is going to be a little closer than I thought. We're down to a 3-minute connection, which is fine. It's at the same bus stop, so it should be fine. Maybe a tiny bit worried though. Alright, we are at the stop. Now it just remains to be seen where my next bus, which is bus 89, is currently. I don't think it's here yet, but I guess we're gonna find out real soon if it was early or not. Okay, good. The live tracker just updated, and it is indeed coming down York Street right now. So it is not here yet. We made the connection. All right, this is good. The other thing that's critical about this is that my next connection, assuming that no trips are dropped or the bus isn't running early, is only about a 5 or 6 minute connection. So we had better be at least pretty close to being on time. There's apparently some kind of traffic snarl here, possibly caused by somebody being a moron. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but there was a lot of honking and other stuff, and so it caused the bus to miss the light cycle, which is slightly unfortunate. given the tightness of my next connection. Oh well, hopefully it'll come in on the next one.
Welcome to Route 89. Please transfer.
Actually, the funny thing about the next one is that the next two Aldis are actually within almost walking distance of each other. Slightly uncomfortable walking distance, particularly in this weather, but technically they're within walking distance, so if we do miss the bus, I have options. But I was hoping that I'd be able to sit on some buses instead of walk. Okay, so, marginally good news. We're late, but we are now paralleling the route of the next bus that I wanted to transfer to, the 25. So the 25, we just passed the 25 just before it merged with this route. So the 25 is currently behind us, which means it's theoretically possible for me to make this connection, but it depends on whether the Aldi is visible from the bus stop. Okay, good. It is visible from this side of the street, so I think we are close enough. I do not think I'm going to risk crossing the street to get a closer shot, but I will say that I did get this one, because I can at least see the sign. And I can see the building. Close enough, close enough, close enough, close enough. Okay. 25, I think I see it already. So close. So I guess the funny thing is that just because they don't have trackers on the L, I could have gone to Frankfurt Transportation Center and then taken the southbound L train to Erie Torresdale, because that's actually where we're going. We're going to the next Aldi. It's paradoxically faster, or at least safer, for me to wait for the bus here, because the buses are tracking, whereas if I go to Frankfurt, I could get lucky and get a train, and I could also not get lucky and not get a train. So, yeah. We're just gonna head over here to this stop and wait for the 56, which is live tracking. It does exist. And we're gonna just take that down to Erie Torresdale Station. Lost. All right, we are at Erie Torresdale. Now the nearest Aldi should be somewhere over this way, not far. The Aldi is not exactly at the station. It's a short walk away. I wonder if it's this building right here that I'm seeing the back of. So I guess maybe this isn't quite as well positioned for transit-oriented access as the 46th Street Aldi and the Fairmount Aldi. But it's pretty close. It is kind of right here, sort of-ish. It is kind of weird how the back of the Aldi faces the station instead of the front. I think it would be significantly improved if the building were just facing the other way around. Let's get out of here. I've got to get the next train north. Which is really funny because I just said, oh, I'm not going to rely on the L because it doesn't track and everything, but even funnier is that we're just going all the way back to Frankfurt, TC. We just have to take this little detour. Oh, let's cut through this parking lot. Let's shorten the walk as much as possible since it is, well, it's not as warm out as it had been the few days before filming this. We just got off like 100-degree heat wave crap, but it's still mid-80s. So let's not walk further than we have to walk in order to get back to the station. Okay, so at least the good thing is that I do believe that I'm on the correct side of the street to access the station, because of course these above ground stations usually only have one way in. So I've got it. Okay, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Apparently I have to use this crossover. And that sucks because there's a train pulling in right now. And I'm pretty sure I can't make that. Well, this is very disappointing. Unless it just sits here for a while. I'm gonna be waiting for the next one, and I have no idea how long that'll be. Damn it. This is so weird. I have to use this bridge here? What? Well, this definitely doesn't seem like a particularly accessible station. More like a pain in the ass. Alright, now we just wait for the next one. Oh good, I have trackers on them. And it says 11 minutes. Could be much worse. Okay, so I'm currently examining my options. I believe that it is basically inevitable at this point that I fall off my schedule. So I'm going to be kind of improvising a little bit from here on out. Maybe I can catch back up to the schedule, maybe I can't. I'm not sure. But I'm going to be doing some different stuff than originally anticipated. Because unfortunately, the next train that is due to get in here will not get to Frankfurt TC until after my next bus will have already left, or at least theoretically until after it will have already left. And of course it could leave late. I should actually take a look at that and see if it's tracking or anything, but the next best alternative at this point seems to be that I will take this only 2 stops up instead of 3. I'll take it to Arret TC and then catch the K bus, and that should take me to the next Aldi. Now the problem is, that is the exact K bus that I was supposed to catch next after visiting that Aldi. I was supposed to get there sooner than that and then catch that K. And the next one is not for another like 20 minutes after that. So that'll set me back 20 minutes. And then from there, I think I'm due to miss my next connection after the next Aldi as well. Vaguely unfortunate all around. We'll see what happens though. Maybe everything runs late, but I'm definitely gonna have to improvise a little bit now because I'm pretty sure the schedule cannot be kept at this point. How about that? There's a train coming.
Are opening. Frankfurt train making all stops.
I chose this car because it seemed a little more vacant than the others.
Stop Girard. A wheelchair accessible station for routes 5, 15, and 25.
Well, the next stop is not Girard. I love it when the announcements are wrong, which totally doesn't happen like every 3rd time I ride the subway. Am I in the right place? I think so, yeah. I wonder if this bus here is going to be the K. I think it does start here, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I am no no longer super duper convinced that this K bus even exists. It's just sitting there, and I have no idea if that's going to be the next K bus or if that's going to be mine. I can't risk falling even further behind, so you know what? I'm just going to kind of bail on that. So to avoid falling catastrophically behind, I'm going to go back upstairs, cross over to this other branch of the bus hub, and wait for a different bus, the 41, which will get me close.
A few moments later.
Oh crap, that's a K. Okay, let's cheat. Well, that's funny, just as I called it and gave up, it shows up. Very cool. Okay, theoretically this should allow me to stay about 20 minutes behind schedule, but that's better than it could be. Well, it's a bit of a shame that I can't quite see the Aldi from here, because if I had, maybe I could have stayed on that bus and made up some of the time that I'm behind by. But alas, I do have to actually get the Aldi in my sights in order for it to count. So I just gotta walk right up alongside this building and then right back to the bus stop, because I'm getting the next K over to Broad Street. Alrighty. I guess the good thing is that because my bus was so late, the following trip is going to get here real soon, so I don't have to stand here that long. This is going to be our 11th Aldi, so after this we only have 4 left. So, I did a little bit of digging, and I think I have some good news about the schedule. So I actually have a mandatory 50-minute cap in the original schedule at Aldi number 13. So, I can just kind of eat into that. And as long as I show up at that Aldi less than 50 minutes late, I should be fine. I should just catch right back up and maybe even finish this whole thing on time. So yeah, I'm just gonna head back to Broad, walk south, and the Aldi should be sort of immediately apparent. And I do need to cross the street because my next bus leaves, assuming I can get there on time. The next bus that I'm going to take in my new improvised plan leaves from 11th Street, which is to the east. So, just missed the light. This Aldi is actually quite close to Fern Rock TC and quite close to Olney TC as well. It's about equidistant from them both. So, yeah, I mean, I could have done these out of order. I could have taken the Broad Street line all the way up to Olney and then walked up this way instead of doing what I did. But I think what I did is probably slightly more efficient. Not 100% sure, but that's what I went with. And who cares if it's the most efficient way or not? This isn't a speed run. This is just me visiting every Aldi for no reason. I love it when private businesses simply co-opt the sidewalk for the storage of personal property. I wonder what store used to be here. Definitely wasn't a Rite Aid. You know, I'm actually wondering if from here I might have enough time to just straight up go down to Fern Rock. If I do, I'm gonna try it, but That's a bit risky. I'm just gonna head down to 11th Street and then figure it out from there. Alright, so the bus apparently leaves Fern Rock at 3:59, which is 13 minutes from now. I actually wonder if I could go. It would just be kind of a cool callback to say, oh, well, we met back up with the top of the Broad Street line, even though we didn't ride it. So yeah, it's so hot. I mean, again, it was much worse recently. It's not 100 degrees, but it's still very annoyingly hot. Okay, this is 11th Street. I guess what I'm going to do is just start walking south and see what happens. So yeah, here's the stop I was originally headed towards. But I think we can do a little better than that. I think we can have some fun. Not that walking around on a very hot summer day is really all that fun, but you know, symbolism is cool and stuff. I feel like that pole is not supposed to be like that. Then again, I'm not an expert at this. Well, well, well. Here's Fern Rock. Let's see if our bus is there waiting for us. It is tracking, so that's good. This is Aldi number 12. Let's check the schedule, see if I have any time to go into Wawa. That would be nice. Oh, okay, that's good. I actually have 14 minutes. So I think I will indulge myself with some Wawa. If there's a bathroom in there, I might take the opportunity to also do that, just kind of preemptively.
A few moments later.
Okay, I have acquired some beverages. I got a chocolate milk because, yes, I'm like that. And I got a Mountain Dew. And we have about 10 minutes left. We just have to cross Roosevelt Boulevard, which is going to be a pain in the ass because it is several lanes wide. There's bus 20, right behind this bus 14 here. Funny thing is that I was actually originally supposed to be taking 20, but I'm just on a later one because I got in there. Barring unforeseen events, we should reach Aldi number 13 in plenty of time. Now I just have to figure out how to get over to Aldi number 14. Should be bus 19 coming. But I do have to walk a little bit. So Primrose Road and Outlook Avenue. Okay. In some ways, I'm actually kind of glad that the schedule worked out the way it did, because figuring out how to kill 50 minutes here would have been so tough. But now I only have to kill 11. So I think that's much better. Anyway, we're coming up on Outlook Avenue now, which is where my stop is. Well, I see a sign for the 19, but it's on the other side of the street, and there does not appear to be one on this side. That always makes me a little paranoid. So I think what I'm going to do is walk backwards along the route a little bit until I get to the next stop back, which hopefully will actually have a sign. Well, I'm very slightly disturbed by the fact that there does not appear to be any signage here either. So I'm going to hang around here and pray that the bus does in fact stop. I think that's the best that I can do. Hopefully they know there's supposed to be a stop here, because there's not a sign. Okay, thank goodness. It came and it stopped. Okay. This is Aldi number 14, the penultimate location for the day. And the really funny thing about this is that in about 10 minutes I am catching the 19 again, just the other direction this time. Well, so the bus is doing about 7 minutes, which actually probably means, since I have just depleted my stores of beverages, yes, it's quite hot out, I might just stop into this Wawa real fast.
A few moments later.
Okay, I got myself some replacement beverages. Well, really just one. Got myself 0 sugar Mountain Dew this time, because, I mean, for as torturous as this has been, given how hot it is, probably haven't burnt that many calories, because, you know, that's the nature of transit filming, right? You're sitting down a lot, so I figured I would be responsible, get something that didn't have any calories in it, but still tastes good and would quench my thirst. That's nice, there's a bench. Okay, back at Roosevelt Boulevard now, and my next and final bus should be the 14, which, as I understand it, is quite close. Wait, did I miss the bus? I might have missed it. Damn it, I think I did. Oops. Well, I guess there's not much I could have done about that. So technically we're going to finish slightly behind schedule, but we should only finish less than 15 minutes behind schedule, as far as I know, because the next one is due quite quickly after this. So, although we missed the one that I was supposed to get, should be just fine.
Welcome to Route 14. Please catch there.
The whole last half of the day really has just made me bouncing up and down Roosevelt Boulevard, hasn't it been?
13. Please catch there.
Aldi is way over there. So, easy as pie, right? Well, at the very least, there's a nice wide sidewalk on both sides of the boulevard. Could be much worse. I've certainly seen worse. But anyways, the Aldi is right in here. Mission accomplished. Only 15 minutes behind schedule. Could be worse. I don't really mind though. Not that I really had anything to do after this, but anyway, I am definitely eager to get home and out of this heat. So I am just going to keep walking to the next bus stop and wait for the next southbound, either 1 or 14. Probably 14. I believe that's more frequent anyways. So yeah, I'm just gonna head over here to this bus stop and wait for that while I wrap this up. So anyways, that was my visit to every Aldi in Philadelphia. This was kind of a little fun thing to do, and it doesn't really mean anything, but you know, I shop at Aldi, so I figured why not? Wonder if there's any other stores around here that I could make a project out of visiting all of in a single day. That'd probably make good content. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.